There are pains we gotta follow, there are pains we cannot run when we're looking down the barrel of a gun. It is not about surviving, either living or you're dying. Stand your ground and never ever be afraid, 'cause we are one. 'Cause we are one. So break your chains, take your ground, make some noise and gather round, 'cause we are one. Yeah, we are one. We stand united. Whoa, whoa. United, together rise and fall, 'cause it's all for one, one for all. Yeah, it's all for one. And we will stand our ground.
Welcome back, everyone, to day number 2 here at the DreamHack Showdown 2019. We had our first elimination of the event just this first BO3 ago, and it came in the form of Orange as they were taken down 2-0 in very, very convincing fashion by the Copenhagen Flames. I'm joined by a new analyst this time. I know you just came off of casting that series with Blair. How are you doing?
I'm doing great. It was kind of a one-sided affair, but it was fun to cast, though.
For sure, and you know, they shouldn't be totally upset about it. The Copenhagen Flames are definitely a tournament favorite, so absolutely no shame in that. Melania, how are you doing?
I'm good. I'm just wondering, like, you have more background with these girls, right? Like Orange, you've also played.
I kind of feel like we do have the next matchup as well, the Chinese squad at 7 p.m. It's more like, it's such a small scene as it is in Asia when it comes to Counter-Strike, and when it comes to the female CS scene, it's even more smaller. So for them, it's more like an eye-opener, so to speak, that, you know, there are much more higher levels, and you could see all the small little flaws they had kind of laid out bare by the way that Copenhagen Flames are playing. The better team won, but I hope they go back home and they're like, hey, we made these mistakes, let's fix them.
Definitely. There's so much that they can learn from this experience. Playing on LAN is so different from practicing at home, so there's a lot to take away for them, but of course now it's time to take a look at Group B. So let's pull that up for you guys to see. Yesterday we did see that Besiktas moved forward in first place, taking down CLG Red in that upper bracket final. And now CLG Red wait for the end of the day to see which team will move on to face them between Forever 21 as well as 7 p.m., which is our upcoming match. So you said it yourself that that's the Chinese team. Yesterday didn't look really good for them, but
Yeah.
what were your thoughts when you saw how they performed?
It's kind of a very similar tale when it comes to both Orange and 7 p.m. Once their opponents kind of figured out that, hey, they are feeling a little nervous, so to speak, they took advantage of that, right? It was just a vulgar display of power coming out from, I think they played against Besiktas yesterday
Yes,
on Inferno.
yeah.
They just got completely destroyed. They really weren't able to get a foothold going, right? But now it's a best of 3. You have the option of maps like a Mirage, like a Dust 2, where you might have a chance of letting a star players shine. So you might be seeing a different 7 p.m. coming out, or it could be Orange all over again.
We'll see if that's indeed the case. But for now, we were able to have a chat with the girls from 7 p.m. yesterday. So let's hear what they had to say.
Who is the smartest player? Who is the worst temper?
因为我就是训练的时候会比较严厉，然后他们做的不好，我会比较凶这样子。训练的时候我会对事不对人。
Who is the team clown? Who is the best player? 因为我杀的人比较多，然后在比赛的时候会有比较好的表现。Who enjoy Vertigo the most?
我觉得玩 Vertigo 这张图，很有趣。然后因为是新地图嘛，就有新的挑战、新的战术，让我非常的喜欢这张地图。
Who always say Rush B? No. Who is said the AUG got nerfed? Nobody. Who here inspire me? 我觉得我们的队伍现在精神状态都非常好，然后大家都很有活力，然后希望能够得到好的表现。
It's always so cool when you get to see sort of behind the scenes and getting a deeper look at what their personalities are like. I know that a player that we had mentioned over and over again yesterday was Hazel, as she's actually received a lot of notoriety even from the European teams here. Earlier when I talked to Giuliano, she had said herself that they were not underestimating 7 p.m. before facing them because she knew that Hazel was supposed to be such a good player. What are your main takeaways after watching that?
Yeah, I mean, it's still a 5v5 game, right? And we saw that in the Orange game earlier where we had GFI, again, kind of carrying the reins, carrying the weight of a team and trying to do her very best. But at the end of the day, the better team will come out forward. And we saw that yesterday against Besiktas. They knew Hazel was a danger, but they managed to kind of not give her a chance to really get going. And if you keep crushing them and kind of suffocating them, right, you really can't have anything going your way. And I like what they did to them. And I'm expecting to see the same thing from F21 today. But then again, I don't know, like, they looked a little rough yesterday.
I really hope that Hazel has a good chance to get back to the game and also get these chances in game by her team to make the performance that we all know she can make. And also, I hope that their team also learned from the aggro playstyle that Besiktas showed yesterday. And I hope that they sat down together yesterday night and talked about the game, and now they can be prepared for something very similar, because we know that the girls over at F21 are really experienced players, and they might see something similar.
I kind of feel like 7 p.m. might have an easier time this time around, because Forever 21, yes, you have the experienced players, but what I saw from them yesterday against CLG Red was kind of disappointing. We thought it was going to be the NA derby, it was going to be, all firepower and flames and whatnot, but it didn't quite pan out. CLG were clearly the better team. So for Forever 21, it's going to be a little, for 7 p.m., I think they might stand a chance here, but they need to play a little like the brethren over from China. They need to play a little Tai Lu-esque, so to speak. It'll be a little bit more aggressive, let your firepower shine through, and be very disruptive in the way you're approaching these games.
So we're actually watching the map veto happen, and 7 p.m. was the one to pick Overpass. Is that a surprising result for you at all? We saw earlier Orange tended towards the dust too, but Overpass, that's a very difficult map.
That could be a statement, right? This could be them saying, listen, we're not just here to just pug around. We are, didn't intend that pun, but yeah, we're not just there to just pug around. We want to play the maps that we're prepared on, the maps that we're used to, and Overpass is a map that if you have your protocols right, it could really work out in your favor. What surprises me is they banned Vertigo, even though one of the players said they like Vertigo.
They loved Vertigo, right? So that was also something
some mind games coming
me.
out.
Some mind games indeed, but of course they are taking on Forever 21, and let's take a deeper look at what those girls had to say.
So I ask a question, and then I'll say 3, 2, 1, and then we point. Who's the smartest? Whoa! That's kind of easy. Okay, no 3, 2, 1. We're good enough. Who's the team clown? Yeah, probably. Sure. Who enjoys Vertigo the most? Probably.
Oh my god,
you.
really? I hated it.
I played one game.
You have to point at yourself. That's the rule.
You love Vertigo. Who always shouts Rush B?
Or IGL.
Rush B! Don't forget the troll flashes. Chain flash to flashes, #1 did it. Yes. Can we add questions? Fuck yes. Who's the most picky about their food? I was eating everything in China, so not me. Last one. Who's the youngest?
Oh, you're the youngest. I'm the baby.
But we're Forever 21.
But
we're Forever 21.
Forever
We're all
21.
Yes. Well, you guys are all awesome.
And I know, Blair, that you had just mentioned that yesterday it was a bit of an underwhelming performance from Forever 21. What are you hoping to see that's reset for today to hopefully get the most out of them in this match?
Well, it's the best of 3. You are kind of the favorites. You have all that experience in your lineup as well. You don't really need to overthink this, right? You also have Mr. Semphis sitting right behind you, so that's going to be an added factor in them having a comfortable time. I'd be very surprised, I'll be honest, if it goes to a map #3 here.
I'd be very surprised. I mean, also I noticed that Miss Harvey tweeted something yesterday about having cold comms, and throughout mid-game it went a little bit better, but they're coming in hot today, she said, so I really hope that they do get the performance that they deserve.
Yeah, and I know that yesterday there were a few teams, including the Flames, that had mentioned that sometimes it just takes a little bit of time to ramp up and start getting warmed up for your time at an event. Some teams really struggle, especially at that opening match, to showcase everything that they have. Do you think that's potentially the case for Forever 21 as well?
I think it's going to be a case of them having to just play the basic defaults here, and they should have the win. If you look at Overpass, like I said, I haven't really seen much from 7 p.m., but from what I saw from them on Inferno, that's going to be any indication. I don't expect anything crazy from them on Overpass either. And when you pick Overpass, that means that your opponent have the pick of which side you want to start on. I'm expecting Forever 21 to go for the CT side, so can 7 p.m. do something a little bit more different on this map is a question, because I didn't see anything from them on the T side on Inferno. Overpass, it's hard to believe. I'm a cynic. I'm such a bad guy.
I'm not gonna lie, I'm a cynic as well, but maybe it's just because I'm coming off of watching a really one-sided Overpass match this last BO3. Oh, and we're ready for the head-to-head, so Blay, why don't you break us down?
Yeah, Hazel, we've been singing her praises all this while. She is the player to watch for this team. She had a rough showing yesterday, but I've seen her play in the Asian tournaments and whatnot, and she can pretty much hold her own almost against anyone. We need her to really step it up, and also it depends on her team setting her up for those kills. On the other hand, Claudia, she had a great game yesterday despite the fact that they lost, and I think these two players are going to be pretty instrumental in deciding who is going to take the win.
Yeah, there's some context to add there as well, because of course yesterday, Hazel didn't really get much of a chance. She had no room to perform to her potential, considering the match ended, I believe the score was something like 16-3 or something like that. So
it's pretty rough.
I mean, hopefully they can get a few more rounds on the board today, but then again, it's a BO3. In those cases, usually the team that is the favorite tends to come out on top. What do you think, Valencia?
I think that a 2-1 situation might happen this time, because
you're a believer.
Yeah, I'm a true believer. No, but Forever 21, they just came together as well. Yes, they do have all the experienced players and stuff, but maybe the first game won't go as well as yesterday. I really hope, of course, that Miss Harvey's tweet really works out for them, but it's nice to see also a 2-1 game instead of just easy 2-0s. I'm done with that. I want to see some fire.
So just to confirm, you're voting 2-1 in the favor of Forever 21?
Yes.
Okay, so Forever 21 for Melania. What about you, Blay?
2-0.
2-0?
F21, yep.
I'm gonna have to say 2-0 as well for F21. I just think that these other teams have a little bit more to go, but there's a lot to take away. Hopefully they come back and go home and reset and practice and learn from their mistakes. But for now, we'll see if that's indeed the case. Our commentary duo, before we get over to them, let's see what Twitch chat actually had to say. The predictions so far have been interesting. Last map, it was extremely one-sided, and whoa!
And this is why we say Twitch chat can sometimes be trolling around. They are literally trolling.
Chinese fans into Twitch chat today.
It's fluctuating. I like it.
It's been very on and off.
Okay, now it's finally starting to be a little bit more one-sided. But yeah, let's see what the commentary duo have to say about this one. Do you guys also think it's going to be Forever 21 taking this?
I like that picture of us.
Oh my God, I just
good old Harry Potter.
I wonder how long they were working on that. Yeah, no, I'm excited for this, obviously. Not only because it's going to be a good game, but because I get to cast with Potter in the Harry Potter duo of a lifetime.
This was planned, wasn't it?
For
totally
a long
planned.
while.
Yeah,
This has been in the planning for years.
It's been going on Twitter for a very long time.
Not just the game. I'm more excited about these two costumes.
No,
Exactly.
ever since
For the
Chamber
first
of
time ever in
Secrets came out.
Counter-Strike history, we have Harry Potter casting a game.
Yeah.
Take it away, guys.
Thank you. Yeah.
What an intro.
I know, right? That was one of the nicest intros I've ever had. So I feel like this does have to become a more regular thing, just to get by on the compliments of the name enough. The product doesn't even have to be that great, is what I've realized. The name sells it, but Potter, you're kind of the expert on this, right? How do you see this one panning out? Are you agreeing with the desk that this is going to be, in favor of Forever 21?
I am. I mean, I wish 7 p.m. actually vetoed Overpass, because yesterday, although they lost, I believe the score was 16-9 or so, they had some good looks. They had some good rounds. I mean, Miss Harvey, her opping on Overpass actually had quite an impact. So I think on day 2, I mean, you learn more from a loss than you do from a win, right? So I think this is probably going to be a 2-0, yeah, I gotta say.
Yeah, I mean, the other thing for me is, like, I know with the 7 p.m. team, even thinking back to WESG where they play with the majority of this roster is Tai Lu, they always loved picking Inferno. They picked into it all the time. They picked into it just yesterday, right? That was the map that it got vetoed down to in the best of one. So it kind of surprises me that Overpass is where we end up. But we're getting into game now. The first map of this second best of 3 of the day, 7 p.m. versus Forever 21 getting underway. And it's Forever 21 over on that CT side to start. M picking up the utility for the squad over on the T side of things. And Bouchard's already turned ahead over into middle.
Yeah, and it looks like they've got the 2 flashes and smoke grenade. I'm going to be curious to see if they're going to actually do some sort of execute. And Bonita opening up things so strongly. That was 1 second, I believe, that Bonita cleaned things up and stepped with those 2 easy frags for herself as well. Ooh, that was a very fast round indeed. And it looks like Forever 21 are just going to be, this is the safe buy. I mean, they're going to go ahead and full on buy all the rifles here. Usually, I mean, we do see a lot of SMGs in the second round, but it seems like Forever 21 are looking for the long game here.
Yeah, I mean, you know, they've already been lights out in the pistol round, so now they're looking to bring the heat here with the rifles. And yeah, they're not taking any risks this time around, so they will just go for rifles out across the board, push out through mid, and here holding close alongside Miss Harvey. They will make quick work of this attempted eco, only 1 kill being found by Hazel, and you know, they weren't really looking to get too much done from that round. It was just pistols. They're focusing instead on the buy up here. This is where we're going to see the rifles come out. One thing to note, Hazel not going to be allowed to bring that AWP out early here over on the T side as a result of deciding to go for this buy here.
Yeah, but you know, 7 p.m., they had the 1 flashbang, they had a couple PT50s. I like the idea. I think too many teams are tending to kind of just throw away those rounds with the intention of, we're going to lose this anyway. But, you know, have a game plan, come into it. So I respect that from 7 p.m.
A bit of a switch here from Forever 21. They play this 3B stack initially, maybe a bit worried that 7 p.m. was just going to try and throw a bit of a Hail Mary B play into this early. And actually, Benny going aggressive in 3 Monster. She gets quite a foothold on the back of this. She's getting a lot of information from this push. And now Claudia jump spotting. Actually, this could be a bit of misinformation. They haven't spotted the player over towards short, so they do have to be a little bit careful there.
Yeah, this is really all going to come down to Bonita's timing and her discipline, really. I mean, she is known as a very aggressive player. Let's see if she actually gets rewarded for this aggression.
Oh, it certainly looks like she's going to. Hazel taking one to the back of the dome, and now she will just kind of be scratching her head right 7 p.m. wondering, how did someone get so deep behind enemy lines?
Yeah, that's got to be so confusing. And I like this from Bonita. You know, she gets the 1 quick frag, and now she's repositioning and going completely somewhere else. Oh, and she is getting rewarded kill after kill from that. You know, those are 2 quick kills. Now it's a 3 versus 4 scenario. This is going to be pretty challenging for 7 p.m. I think Claudia is going to have a huge round here.
I mean, she might have to. She is one of the only 2 defenders here inside of the B bomb site, so she's stepped up and she's allowed plenty of time for these rotations to come in. It's only M left standing, and in the 1v4, she'll be found. Bouchard to shut her down. Forever 21 moving 3-0 up. They only lose Bonita in that round. And that was on the back of her getting that double kill from the flank. She'd already really done more than enough in this round to help secure it for Forever 21. And I have to agree with you there. I love that little reposition down through the T-ramp back into connector, just keeping 7 p.m. guessing, because you saw, right, they applied the brakes, they slowed right down. They were hoping that on the back of that aggression, Bonita maybe would have overstepped her mark a bit and extended a little too far. But no, she plays that well, and now, once again, it's back to the drawing board for 7 p.m. All too familiar situation with just pistols out and this fast toilet rush.
Oh, nice round from Bouchard. I'm going to be curious to see how MMC utilizes this flashbang. Now they do have the 1 AK. I mean, I would definitely pass that AK over to Hazel, use that flashbang, and go for some kills. At this point, 7 p.m.'s main focus needs to be to kind of control this economy, try to keep it down to a minimal level, a controllable level, so that they can look at the future of the rounds and the future of this match.
Yeah, and they do get a couple of kills there in that one, but it's still, majority of players staying alive for Forever 21. I do feel like when we, and namely talking about this round, I was going to say, when we have enough money for Hazel to get the AWP, maybe things get a bit more interesting, but she's actually decided to go rifles across the board. Miss Harvey, however, she's going to have her AWP out. Potter, you already said how she had some good impact on this map just yesterday.
She definitely did, and I'm really disappointed that 7 p.m. don't drop that AWP over to Hazel. We saw this same scenario yesterday where 7 p.m. were a little reluctant to bring out that AWP. I understand T-side AWPing is not generally the most optimal, but they had a lot of success yesterday when Hazel had that AWP, so they certainly had enough money, but let's see if the 5 rifles is the game plan here for 7 p.m.
Yeah, maybe looking to throw something a little bit faster into this round, but it is just the slow default, at least initially, right? Trying to grab control of connector. Miss Harvey is here, down in short water.
Miss Harvey has that Zeus. Harry, are we going to see some sort of Zeus funky action going on here?
I would love to see it. I'd love to see it, but she's a little far away from the action right now. Actually, it looks like Bouchard might be the one to get tested first, although I was kind of sure we were going to see a bit of conflict here. 7 p.m. but instead they've slowed right down. They've pumped the brakes once again.
I like that they pumped the brakes though. They got that 1 kill, they've got their advantages, and now they're just going to regroup and do a full-on execute towards this A bomb site. But Forever 21 have already rotated all 3 of their members towards this A site and just spamming through that smoke.
Oh, but M's been able to get the bomb down in amongst all the chaos. Smoke's now starting to fade, and already Bouchard into the occasion. M will get the trade in from Long at 7 p.m. Now sat in the 4-on-3 with bomb planted. Good chance that they find their first round here. That is, unless Claudia, Miss Harvey, and Mask have something to say about it, and they certainly might, because 1 by 1, 7 p.m. are getting shut down. They all get deleted.
What
that's just mental.
That was a really nice retake from Forever 21's side of things. You just mentioned the AWP from Miss Harvey. I mean, she also had a perfect flashbang and set up Mascu for that easy kill blind member on 7 p.m. So Miss Harvey, huge impact in this 6th round. Oh, we just missed that replay as well. Wish we actually saw the shots that she actually hit, but yeah, I mean, the good news for 7 p.m. here is that round looked a lot better than the rounds previous. I mean, they had really good bathroom control. They were able to get the man advantage earlier on in the round. I think their execution fell a little bit flat, and that post-plant, the positionings, I believe they had 2 members towards that long A. They needed to just push through that long, get to the bathroom, and play a more strong, optimal post-plant scenario. Generally we have a player near the divider and the bathroom side and things of this nature, and listen for that bomb defuse. But 7 p.m. decided to keep 2 members close at that long range and towards that long A, and that's just not an optimal post-plant position, Harry.
No, I do think, right, if you're sitting like 4-on-3, you do want to be like kind of at least doubling up in toilets, right? Just so you can play that trade game a little later on in the round.
System.
Yeah, right, exactly. They end up playing that with, as you say, 2 at long, and I think it was like 1 short as well. So as they're trying to trade off of one another, they're just getting picked apart. Well, this round now, it's back to the drawing board for 7 p.m. and a fast B play looks to be the order of the day. They're keeping things fresh at least as they throw a bit of a curveball into this round, and they have opened up with a double. Anita holding close inside of the bomb site. She's been a hero once. Can she be a hero again? She certainly can, because she's got 3. Looking for the 4th. Maze finally shuts her down, but Benita's done so much for her team here. Now just Bouchard and Miss Harvey. These 2, they've been able to keep their cool in these retakes before. Can they do it again? Miss Harvey will get bested. And this leaves Bouchard alone, but she's snuck up through short. She's hidden away. She hasn't shown her presence here yet. They don't know that she lies in wait. She's dropped the bomb. Oh, just managing to get past.
Hazel has plenty of time to push through CT spawn here, but it looks like she's going to go straight for the plant. She has no grenades left. Bouchard is so low, and she gets taken out by Bouchard. Wow. This was such a good setup from 7 p.m. from the beginning of the round. Perfect flashbangs to execute towards out that monster. And it was immediately a 3 versus 5 for them. And wow, what a round from Benita. 3 kills. She made it look easy.
Yeah, she actually, I mean, all right, so she gets the first one, and I'm like, okay, you can feel something's gonna happen here. She gets the second, but it was like this little like readjustment, this moment of just that one, the 3rd, onto M as she's trying to get the trade. there's just like that moment to regain composure and not commit to the full spray, right?
Absolutely. I mean, most players in that scenario, there's either a panic spray, that fight or flight instinct kicking in, but Benita held her ground, and that trigger control, really impressive stuff from her. We're at a point now in this game where I believe every round is going to be a gun round here for 7 p.m. If they don't pull some sort of wins together, some points on the board, at least they have that money loss in their favor. But I'm afraid we're going to see the same scenario where Hazel's just not going to have an op throughout the entire duration of this first half.
One of the things that I recall, though, was when I headed into that WSG event, Hazel played there as well, I'm pretty sure. And I remember, like, having heard so much good stuff about her, I was really excited to see the AWPing. And I remember getting frustrated that over on the T side, it does just seem like she never really picks it up. Like, I feel like she is someone who only AWPs on this CT half, and very rarely do you actually see her get to bring this AWP out over on the T side. If my memory's serving me correct, but at least like we're certainly getting evidence that that's the case, right, with this game and the game yesterday.
I think you're absolutely right. Yesterday we hardly saw her opping on that T side either, and I think it probably has to do with the fact that she may not find as much success in getting kills on the board with that op. But the point is the presence of the op alone allows your teammates to be able to space on the opponents, and I think that's why it's so crucial. But a really nice refrag here from Maisie to open up that A bomb site. Perfect smokes. They're going to be able to get the bomb down here, but Benita pushing through the smoke, doing what she does best, and gets 2 quick frags and rewarded for that.
Benita is so brave. She's just pushing smoke. She's taking fights. She's pulled it back into the advantage for her team once again.
And Benita is so known for these types of plays. She loves lurking in those smokes. She loves waiting and biding her time. And everything about Benita's playstyle is all about timing, and it really is paying off in this match so far. If we think back to the very first gun round, Benita straight pushed Monster alone, made it to T-spawn, and shot people in the back through that fountain. So every round now, Benita's getting rewarded kill after kill by pushing and being aggressive.
And I mean, you kind of feel like at some point, right, this is something that 7 p.m. at least have to account for, right? Like, there's not really much to deter Benita going for these plays right now, because so far they've always worked in a very big way, right? She's not getting punished for pushing smoke. She's not getting punished for pushing areas of the map on her own. I would just like to maybe see something a little bit slower from 7 p.m., right? I like that they've been going into these rounds with a game plan. I like that they've been taking their time, you know, trying to figure this out a bit. But I don't just want a set piece from spawn into a bomb site, right? I want to see them pressure the map, spread out, take a default early on, try and find these picks.
I have to agree with you. I mean, 7 p.m. is doing a great job getting that bathroom control. It seems that they've actually been coming out on top of that duel every single time, but it's when they're getting into the bomb sites themselves is when it kind of falls apart. And it seems, ooh, really nice refrag there from the pistols. This is almost a full save.
Yeah, there's a few sets of armor that actually are going to come in handy, though, with that retrieved rifle. And maybe we do just see the fast play into this A-bomb set on the back of finding Bouchard early. The problem is, look at Connector. There's already 2 players running up through it. And of course, it's Benita, this time joined by Matt, because she's decided she wants a piece of the opposition. And now for Forever 21, sat 8-0 up, 7 p.m. yet to field a round on their map pick, by the way, which...
That is 3 rounds in a row now that 7 p.m. have gotten the opening kill into the round, and then it just really falls apart as they're trying to get into these bomb sites. I really think 7 p.m. need to slow it down, take a deep breath. You're doing a great job finding that entry. Once you find that entry, just keep poking and prodding a little bit, you know? Don't fully commit to the one plan that you have, I think. But it seems like this time around, they're taking a page out of your book, Harry. They're leaving that bomb towards that T-spawn, and I believe they're just gonna really slow things down. They finally have a full set of utility. They've been missing that, I think, for the past 2 rounds or so. So hopefully they come up with a plan to be able to actually utilize these flashes and set themselves up for some kills.
Yeah, this is a much slower round than we've seen from 7 p.m. thus far, but it's the short aggression that's going to try and punish them, but actually...
That is a nice punish. I mean, MassQ Forever 21, they had a really nice little dual stack there on that sandbox, and I thought they would get punished, but HFO, really nice reactions, a nice flash from her teammate, and it looks like a full-on explosion is coming on towards this B bomb site. Nice opening once again. This has to be around for 7 p.m., right? I mean, it's a 4 versus 2 post-plant scenario. I don't even know if Forever 21 can go for this because, as I said, they've been getting those opening kills. Claudia is the only member on Forever 21 with a lot of money here. I think Forever 21 maybe need to just kind of go for exits here.
Yeah, they're still hanging around, and looking a little bit curious, maybe a bit tempted.
Oh, they're going for
They
it.
are going for it. They are going for it. They're pushing on it. Bouchard's leading the way. She will get shut down. Miss Harvey to follow. And maybe a little too overzealous there from Forever 21. I can definitely understand why you would at least just go for it, right? Because what a way to get your opponent kind of down in the dumps and you know, dry out all the morale that they had. But yeah, I mean, that one did feel a little too far gone. They try it anyway. They try their luck. It doesn't pan out. I do think HFO really steps up massively for 7 p.m. with that one there, because that nice little double boost, as she pointed out over towards short, it's really not every day you expect a repeat from a second player up on sandbags like that. So the fact she's able to get them both, real turning point in that round.
And you know, this is such a huge round for 7 p.m. As I mentioned, the money on Forever 21 is not the greatest. I was hoping that they would actually just look for those exits, try to punish 7 p.m. and start to win in this next round. But they actually went for it, and now their money is not looking so great. So this is going to be the pivotal round for 7 p.m. If they're able to not just win this round, but kill off every member of Forever 21, for the rest of the half, Forever 21 is going to have a hard time coming back into this game economically.
And that, I mean, when you think about how impactful Miss Harvey's been, it is going to be pretty dire, right? She won't be able to bring this AWP out reliably. But we'll hold this thought, because the fast A play coming in, that Molotov has done so much damage. They just go running right through Miss Harvey's nades. She hears them close. She knows that players have crossed over towards the truck position, and Bouchard coming in from mid. She's actually making quick work of this post plant. 2 players already getting dropped. These crossfires not coming through. It's confusion, it's chaos. And you said that if everyone on Forever 21 got taken down, their money would be ruined. Well, they managed to keep all 5 alive and pick that round up to secure the 9-1 scoreline.
Really nice round from Forever 21, being able to keep all 5 members alive, really clean as well. But from 7 p.m., it seems like these flanks coming out of Forever 21 are really punishing these ladies. They're unable to hold on to those post-plant scenarios. I think they really just have to be wary of these fast flank plays.
Yeah, because honestly, right, I feel like right now, if you're 7 p.m., right, and you push 4 players into this A bomb site, because they've been pretty good at getting toilets. They've been pretty good at getting the bomb down over in A. If you were to like try and do something like that and then just leave 1 player keeping an eye on connector, maybe from party, maybe playing it back towards the connector ladder, right? Because you notice Forever 21 are coming in so fast on these rotations, you know they're not being that cautious. You know they're just barreling over towards A. And the reason being is because 7 p.m. haven't really dedicated anyone to keeping an eye on this flank just yet.
And all it takes is just the 1 round to punish the ladies of Forever 21 and make sure that, hey, listen, we're watching this. You better respect us.
As soon as you assert that dominance, right, back their way, and you just say, well, you can't keep punishing us like this. That's kind of when it stops. And finally, we see another opener found in this round for 7 p.m. It's Hazel to find it. Trade comes back in, and well, actually, going to get cancelled out. Hazel going above and beyond over towards long.
Ooh, Bouchard in a nice position. Forever 7 p.m. not expecting her to be still in such a forward position at 1.5 minutes. But it seems like she's pushing even forward a little bit more, going for more, and she gets rewarded with the bomb down even.
That is just heartbreak hotel for 7 p.m. because Bouchard, they tried to get out through long. Hazel thought she'd done enough. They thought they'd cleared out everyone. But they forgot about Bouchard, and finally they're able to shut her down. HFO left in this 1v2. Still has to go back and get that bomb over in top mid. And I mean, even then, she just got spotted there, right?
Yeah, she definitely got spotted there. I think that was kind of a mouse hurts issue there. You know, when you swipe a little bit too fast, it kind of freezes on you. But yeah, one thing boding well for 7 p.m. and HFFO is the fact that she still has 40 seconds left on the clock. She doesn't have much utility and already at half HP, but if she's able to isolate these members of Forever 21 and kind of find herself 1v1s like this, see, that would have been a great opportunity for her. If she wins that duel, all of a sudden it's a 1 versus 1, get into a post-plant scenario, and it's really, she's got a great shot at winning that round. But unfortunately, Bonita does close out that round. And now all of a sudden, Harry, we're at a 10-1.
So obviously, you know, you've played within the female scene for quite a while. When you're in those like tense kind of 1v1s, and you know, is it better to be like the CT who was in the 2v1 having a retake, or would you rather be the T, the kind of underdog?
Rather be the T.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
Is it the kind of like, does the pressure kind of like push you to do better there, or is it because you know that as a CT, you had the advantage. You're going to be having to come into that bomb site on the retake, right? You got all the angles to check and stuff like that.
I think there's two types of players. Players that flourish and do really well alone, and they're able to just move around and do exactly what they want. And then there's players that really fit well in team environments. And I think with these ladies, they're all about the team. They're all about the teamwork and capabilities of that. And they're kind of learning how to be really clutch players. But yeah, I definitely prefer being alone on that T side, for sure.
Wow, his mate, she is alone on that T side. So if this was you, you'd be happy as can be. But she is not, however. She walks into that crossfire in the B bomb site. Forever 21, 11 rounds to their name. Incredibly one-sided game thus far.
Yeah, you know, I feel like the score is definitely heavily favored for Forever 21, obviously, but 7 p.m., they've had so many opening kills into this first half. I mean, they've had a lot of opportunities to be able to put some rounds on the board. Unfortunately, though, these flanks coming out of Forever 21, the aggression, the almost mindless aggression, just consistently flanking, it is really punishing 7 p.m. round after round. And once again, 7 p.m. are on such a low buy. We haven't seen an op from Hazel at all this entire half.
Yeah, and this is so often the problem with this 7 p.m. side and the decision to not really play the AWP in the T half, right? Is if you start T side and you do this badly, we don't even get to see your CT side, right? If that was your big idea to bring the AWP out in the second half, well, you don't even have a second half at this point in time, right? The pistol round, if you lose that, this is almost all said and done.
Exactly. You need to give yourself a little bit of wiggle room, a little bit of room to be able to make some magic happen.
Done it.
Oh, here we go.
Oh, there we go. We're excited. I know that you've been waiting 14 rounds for this moment.
14 rounds indeed. And as I said before, you know, Hazel's objective here isn't to go out and ace and kill every member of Forever 21, but to hold a spot, hold an angle, and allow your teammates to get into a little bit more forward position safely and open up some opportunities for yourselves and your teammates to actually get some kills.
How is Benita there?
This is what I'm talking about. See, they finally punished Benita for being in such an awkward forward position. This is turning out well for 7 p.m. I wish that a round like this happened a little bit earlier on in the half, but thankfully, I mean, better late than never, I guess, right, Harry?
Yeah, I mean, you know, they've kind of, it's taken them a while, but I guess they finally cracked it. If they're able to convert this to a round and then maybe they're able to go 3-12, they could still look to salvage this half. This map. Obviously, way easier said than done, but they are making quick work of this CT defense. The 3 players that were left now turns to 2. It was Hazel to extend that man advantage even further as now they push in towards the A-bomb site. Bouchard's been smoked off there as that falls over at the dumpster. And Forever 21, I mean, they could even like justify saving. I mean, the last round of the half coming up, but you will have players maybe who are a little bit strapped. You could maybe look to bring out 2 AWPs as well. So.
Yeah, I think Forever 21's main objective here is to just kind of get in 7 p.m.'s head, get as many kills as you can. It's really not about the money anymore this late in the first half, but it's really about just sending them a message, right? Asserting your dominance in the server. But looks like Forever 21's going to take the latter route and just kind of make sure they save these weapons, which they don't really need to do. They have plenty of money.
As I said it, I was kind of like, no, I don't even know if I believe this anymore. Like, it was one of those moments, but it's like, no, you got to commit to it now. But yeah, I guess, like, you know, they don't have any lost voters banked up, so maybe they just really wanted to be sure they could field everything into this round.
You know what, though, Harry? I'm going to have to agree with you. I mean, I think if 7 p.m. are able to get this last round of the half, make it a 12-3, win that pistol round, all of a sudden we're at a 12-6. And Forever 21 haven't been a team for very long. They're not that practiced on the T side of Overpass. Absolutely. I mean, 7 p.m., hopefully they do actually get this last round and are able to close out that pistol. But we're into this round. Once again, Hazel with that op. Let's see if she's going to be able to actually make an opening for her team.
Ooh, well, actually, it's Claudia to find this opening onto Leo as she tries to
shot.
I know, right? And for Leo, she actually had some success here in the last round, right, to continue building upon that advantage for 7 p.m. She tries to go back with the fast short play, but she's immediately shut down. And now as they turn their attention back round towards long, Bouchard is already posted up here over in the toilet. She's going to have Miss Harvey rotating round over towards long to try and give her a hand, but yeah. Ooh, No, actually, it was a setup. Flash goes over. Miss Harvey's there to provide the assistance. Flash is good, Hazel's better, and she will get the trade onto Bouchard, but she's lost 2 of her teammates in the process. This bomb is out in the open. 2v4, Forever 21. They're just going to split up between these bomb sites, play that 2-2, knowing they've got an even fight wherever 7 p.m. head.
Yeah, and things are just getting a little bit more and more difficult for 7 p.m. Let's see if Hazel's going to actually be able to get a kill towards this forward position. You can see that she's a little confused. She's looking behind her towards that connector, worrying about Benita and her flanking capabilities, but Miss Harvey in that corner gets an easy kill for herself, and yeah, just like that, done and dusted. Forever 21 finish out that half 13-2.
Yeah, very, very dominant half indeed. One of the most dominant halves we've seen at the event thus far. Great from Forever 21. 7 p.m. Can they pull it back, or will this be Forever 21's map? Find out after a break.
We will stand our ground.
I'm looking back at you, but you won't stop chasing. Don't make me look back no more. No review mirrors here. I'm about to fall if I run through all these barriers. Don't make me look back no more. Try to make me fall, yeah. Don't make me look back no more. No review mirrors here. I'm about to fall if I run through. Try to make me fall, yeah. As I'm running through this jungle, I see faces. I'm looking back at you, but you won't stop chasing. Don't make me look back no more. No review mirrors here. I'm about to fall if I run through all these barriers.
We will stand our ground.
Well, Forever 21 are looking bright as ever within the server. 13-2 up at the end of that first half on the map pick of 7 p.m. And I tell you what, it's not the scoreline you want to see if you're a 7 p.m. fan. The pistol around here goes without saying. It's a necessity if they want to build back into this game. Forever 21 looking like they might just throw a very, very fast B play into this pistol round.
Yeah, and it looks like 7 p.m. are playing very far back from that monster side and kind of giving up that B bomb side, but a nice opening kill from Hazel and HFFO, and this is a good scenario for 7 p.m.
Yeah, somehow, some way, they've pulled it back into a 4-on-1. Benita left up alone, and she'll get tapped on down. Defuse comes in. 7 p.m. pistol round secured, and in a very dominant fashion indeed.
I like the flashbangs that 7 p.m. consistently are buying, whether in the pistols or whether in these save scenarios. They're consistently one member. It seems to be MMC that continues to buy those flashbangs, and it finally pays off for her. She throws double flashbangs into that B bomb site as Forever 21 are executing in, and Hazel is able to get a free kill on a blind member. So that's definitely paying dividends, 100%.
Well, Benita's gone for the dual Berettas, so you know she's having a great time. Would you say that she's well known for enjoying this?
I would not say she's known for that, no.
So, yeah, I guess that's a bit of a confidence play. Let's see if it pays off for her.
7 p.m. are playing a little bit too far back. They don't have a lot of information, but it looks like those SMGs are definitely paying off, and it's a quick and easy round for 7 p.m. That bodes well for them. I thought maybe that because they were so far back, they didn't get the early information. A lot of the time that does catch you off guard when all of a sudden there's 5 Ts in your face and already into the bomb site. So generally speaking, teams do play a little bit more forward, gather the information and fall back as you pull off some damage here and there. But 7 p.m. just right off the bat, we're playing far back into the site.
Yeah. Yeah, right, because at the end of the day, right, you've got the rifles, you've got the range advantage, you can just whittle down your opponent. Also, there's always that moment of panic where you just get rushed by 5 players of pistols close to the bomb site, and maybe you lose like 1 duel and suddenly everything's in chaos. The comms are terrible, rotations are like getting caught. But no, they're able to hold their own this round. The buy back in for Forever 21.
Look how many smokes are on the map here, Harry. There was 5 smokes on the map down at once.
And like just
a minute and 30 in the round.
Yeah, we're all the smoke's gone pretty much over on the side of 7 p.m. There's still a couple here for Forever 21 to try and make a play in towards one of these bomb sites later on in the round. But they are just holding this initial default. They haven't gone for a set piece. Instead, they're hoping that they could have caught someone from 7 p.m. out of position. But with how they've been playing, I feel like they're going to have a pretty hard time of doing that. This is some very reactive Counter-Strike right now from back within these bomb sites.
Definitely, and they are definitely in a disadvantage with all these smaller weapons and the FAMASs and the MP9s. But if 7 p.m. are somehow able to win 2 more rounds, gather up some economy, get that AWP into Hazel's hands, this could, I mean, they could put a lot more rounds on the board here for themselves.
Well, I mean, as you said, somewhat requires them building up a couple more. This would be the time to do it, and Maze and M, they're making quick work of the push. Mask does come back in with the trade. Miss Harvey silencing another, and now the last man.
Oh no.
Yeah.
The awareness from Miss Harvey. Nice of her to just hold her position, not even go for the fake plant. She understood that Maisie was in that area, but what a round from Maisie with that MP9.
Yeah, I mean, the SMGs do way more than I ever thought they would, right, in that situation, but Miss Harvey was just on something in this round. Like, she's doing it all. She's getting the trades on the players that are going down. She's finding the attempted clutch player for 7 p.m., stepping up, and quite soon she might even have the money to bring this AWP out over on the T side. So that's a worrying hope for 7 p.m., but...
Yeah, and I believe this is going to be one of the last buy rounds, like a full buy round for 7 p.m. if they're unable to put the round together for one of these last rounds. But it's a pretty weak buy, Harry. There's, again, no AWP. Hazel's down to a deagle.
Yeah, I mean, you really hate to see it, but at this point, right, it is kind of like pick your poison, isn't it, right? Like, you either have to partially invest here and then you try and compete for overtime, or you take this buy here, and although it has its limitations, it's at least going to give you that little bit of wiggle room that we were saying 7 p.m.'s kind of so desperately need. They don't really have a choice whether or not they try and go for this one. And I mean, they are sitting in this 5-on-4. Forever 21 trying to boost up Bouchard to peek into this long portion of the map. She hasn't spotted anyone yet, but there is M sitting around this position. She'll be waiting back within the bomb site behind the dice box.
MMC, it's all up to her here. Hopefully she's able to get a multi-kill. This is a huge moment. And she does do a lot of damage. She almost gets that on Claudia, but quick work from Bouchard to get the quick refrag. And this is actually advantageous for Forever 21. Even though they're down a member of on their side, the bomb counts as a teammate for them. So it's almost a 3v3 scenario here.
Yeah, they're able to just play off the back of it. 7 p.m., they're the ones that have to hop on this bomb, and Mask knows it. She's going to hold back from within the toilets. 1v3, peeking wide. She takes out HFO, and now it's just Maisie, but Mask is laying waste to 7 p.m. Forever 21 get the round, and they'll reach map point 15-4. Mask doing it all there in the 1v3.
Just as simple as possible. Really nice clutch from Mask Q. Such a strong position to be in this divider scenario in that post plant. But I gotta say, Semphis in his sunglasses standing behind Forever 21. He looks very serious right now.
Well, you know, I mean, it's not over till it's over. He does feel like the bouncer though, doesn't he? Like.
Yeah. Did you see his shoulders? That's
I
very
mean,
large.
It's hard to miss them, isn't it? Like, but yeah, I mean, yeah, we could speak about that all day, I feel like. However, potentially last round, maybe I'm getting ahead of myself, but the buy is not great here for 7 p.m. It really doesn't bode well for this comeback happening. I mean, even if they're able to pick this up, it's still such a long road. And I think with some of the confidence we've seen, especially from the likes of Benita and Bouchard in this match, it's just going to be so hard to get past them. But maybe they're here to prove me wrong. Claudia trying to haul this round back in favor of Forever 21, but they're getting deep down wherever they turn. Somehow, some way, this round's coming through for 7 p.m.
What a great round for 7 p.m. And if you notice, their HFFO, she was down to a USP in that entire round. She dropped the Deagle for Hazel, and that actually pays dividends for her. Hazel with the 2 kills. HFFO is the secret MVP of that round. I mean, she only had a USP, no armor. She drops the weapons for her teammates, and she gets a kill. I mean, that's as good as it's pretty much going to get.
Yeah, that right there is a team player. But as we kind of alluded to, 5 to 15, it's still a very long road before Forever 21 are going to get too uncomfortable. But they've gone with this decision to force buy up in this round.
Hazel taking a page out of Benita's playbook here, but she does not get the kill. That's certainly a position for her to be able to punish Forever 21, but unfortunately she's unable to do so, and it's really going to be down to MMC to hold off this A bomb site as Forever 21 are making their way into the site itself.
Ooh, and I mean, it went from being like a round that looks like it could have gotten out of hand, a round that maybe you got a little worried about, to just such a clean one for 7 p.m. And this is the weird part, is it's like, it just feels like at times they have these rounds where they look like such a cohesive unit, right? Everyone's playing off of one another. Even though kind of at the beginning, right, you notice M missing the majority of those opportunities to find kills down in mid. Her utility work, the nades that go in, they were great. The rest of the team pulled through.
Yeah, and it seems like 7 p.m. have that down. They've had the advantageous crossfires down. It's just a matter of getting to those points within the rounds. And it seems like that's what their biggest crux has been this entire half is the flanks, is the chaos that kind of Benita has been forming for them. But it looks like, you know, they're making quick work. This bodes well for their confidence to just make these rounds as clean as possible for themselves. What's so funny here?
Sorry, Miss Harvey just died in like the most matchmaking way ever, right? She's holding monster, she's firing through with her Glock, and then the moment she looks away, she gets pushed through the smoke and dies. But,
unlucky.
Yeah, happens to the best of us.
Sounds like a round that
regularly. That's why I'm so like, I really feel, because I really relate to that feeling, as we all do. There's no, I mean, that is just the way though, isn't it? Like you're holding the angle, a minute and a half, look away, dead from the angle you were just holding. It's like, oh, okay, well.
Timing is everything.
I know.
It really is.
And with Caster's Curses getting thrown around left and right, it's not just like Horcruxes with this duo you've got to be worried about. So, out through long, Maisie here, and already shut down. Benita just pushing smoke. She's not letting up, but finally they're able to deal with her.
Yeah, I mean, Benita's just been pushing through those smokes solo all game long, and more often than not, she's getting rewarded for those types of plays, and 7 p.m. just don't have an answer for her aggression. That's an interesting smoke.
Yeah, I don't think it... I was curious if Hazel could stay over the top, but I think it's just a tiny bit too tall. So yeah, that does actually nullify Hazel from peeking down through short, and that's allowed Forever 21 to creep up close here. I like that smoke, and now they go pushing past it. But the crossfire, far too strong. Em and Hazel hold down their own. They get all 4 in a matter of seconds.
And there it is once again, Harry. You mentioned it, that 7 p.m. have optimal crossfires, and they're able to actually make these rounds look really good for themselves if they get themselves in these positions to begin with. So it's really going to be up to them to be able to set themselves up for rounds just like this.
And this has just been such an interesting game, because it really does feel like it's the CT side dictating the pace more than anything else, right?
For sure, and I think that really has to do with Forever 21 kind of being a newer-ish team, you know? They don't have all the strategies, all the plays in their playbook, so I think it's definitely going to come down to the CT side that will determine who wins this match for sure. But it looks like Forever 21 are back down to those pistols. They had a pretty decent round with those pistols 2 or 3 rounds ago, so let's see if they're able to actually get some kills.
Because you see, right, when it was 15-4 in favor of Forever 21, I didn't see a comeback being a real possibility. But now, as the scoreline's getting closer and closer, and as 7 p.m. are finding their footing a little bit more, I'm starting to believe that they could get back into this game now.
Yeah.
We're still a long way off, right? But this is now 9-15. And I mean, you know, if you're Forever 21 in this situation, you were 15-4 up and the scoreline is slowly turning against you. You can feel your opponent building back into it. That can be where, you know, the cracks, especially in such a new roster, can really start to show, right?
Absolutely, and we have to remember this is a series. There's a second map after this and potentially a third, so it's going to be really important for 7 p.m. to remain calm, maintain your composure, and start racking up some points on the board, not necessarily just for this first map, but for the future of the second map and potentially the third map as well.
Oh, Miss Harvey's trying to safeguard their fate in this one, and it was a 1v3 required from her. We are painting this round as a bit of an impossibility, Potter, but
I
Miss
wish
Harvey.
Steph fell back after that. That was such a beautiful shot from her, and she's actually pushing towards this bank. I like this even more a lot as well. Unfortunately, the no armor, it kind of just punishes her. This is why I really wish she would have planted and went towards that long ran all the way back around that bathroom. We saw Mascu have such a successful clutch earlier from that divider position. That is, generally speaking, the more optimal place to play around with your opponents and play the bomb, but
I
unfortunately...
definitely think as well, if you're unarmored, right, you would rather be in the divider where you can just play that jiggle peek. I think if you have armor and you go for the bank push, I would say Miss Harvey wins that duel.
Yeah.
You know, like I think she's so good at going for those sort of audacious plays. But it really was just the lack of armor, right? The aim punch comes back to punish her. The crosshair placement was fine. The read was there, but sadly just doesn't come through. Now 9-15, 7 p.m. They're on the verge of reaching double digits, which, considering, you know, at one point in time, this was what, a 13-1 scoreline in favor of Forever 21. They were 15-4 up when they reached map point. This is a hell of a lot closer than I ever imagined it would have been. And there's been a lot of reasons for that, right? Hazel's been stepping up. But another player for me is Leo. Up until, I think it was like round 8, she was 0-8 on the scoreboard. She's now up there alongside the rest of her team. So she's had a great individual comeback in this map.
And you know what, Harry? 7 p.m. started winning rounds as soon as Hazel got that op on her back late in the second half. And now, once again, the op is on Hazel's back. We're down to round 25. I mean, this is do or die for Hazel. So I'm going to be curious to see if she's actually going to be able to make something happen here for herself.
Yeah, it was actually for the first time in a little while we see her take a bit more of an aggressive stance down towards mid. She's fallen back. Timing's pretty great for that because this long push has just come in from Forever 21. They'll clear out the toilet portion of the map. Hazel's holding this very tight angle, but there is a player slowly but surely sneaking our way.
Oh, I guess Miss Harvey is the player that's been throwing that smoke that landed right in front of that flower pot, I believe.
Oh, they hear the smokes. The pennies drop, the rotation's having to come back in. And it was just as they moved to play it off of this A bomb site as well. The timing couldn't have been worse. Segregated now by these smokes into the 4-on-4. 7 p.m. They've been working so hard to bring this back to a vaguely doable scenario, and it would feel so painful if it was all for nothing here on their map pick. It comes down to this retake now, whether they stay alive in this map. Hazel leading by example, pushing in with this AWP in hand, trying to find the openers, but it's Bouchard and Claudia to make quick work of the attempted retake. They shut everybody down 16-9 in favor of Forever 21 over on the map pick of 7 p.m. They'll move 1-0 up in this series. And now, I mean, the pressure really is on for 7 p.m.
It really is. And in that last round, you saw 7 p.m. They just didn't have any utility to actually make a comeback in that round, in that retake. Unfortunately, no smokes, hardly any flashes. And in that scenario, post plan at A, it's almost impossible.
Yeah, especially when you're going into that, you know, it's a 4-on-4. You're desperate just to try and find someone, right? Just to provoke those other players to start to peek on the back of it, start to give themselves up. But no, I mean, no duels present themselves. And yeah, I mean, what a match. You all good?
Yeah, I'm good.
Okay, that's fine then. Yeah, but no, I have to ask, right, for you, For 7 p.m., what do we need to see from them heading into this second map if they're going to pull it back?
I think they need to get the op into Hazel's hands a lot earlier in that first half. As I mentioned, and I keep mentioning it, it's not about the kills for Hazel. It's about the confidence for her teammates to be able to make space and get in their opponents' faces. They got all the entries. They got the opening kills in the first half more often than not, and they need to be able to figure out a way to capitalize on those opening kills.
There we go. Well, I mean, the Harry Potter duo, we're like wizards. They grant wishes, kind of like genies. Let's see if they grant our wish. Will Hazel be picking up that AWP a little bit more in the second map? Or will Forever 21 be stampeding ahead in this best of 3? Find out after a break.